So one of the things that I teach is to create an energetic curve when you're training. So if you're training in the gym or for a sport, or even if you're applying a different kind of stress in an attempt to build yourself in some way, like preparing for a psychological process, which is going to be stressful, but it's like mental training, you can apply this same principle. And it's about taking off the plane, flying the plane, and then landing the plane. So, a yoga class could follow this. A strength and conditioning program could follow this. A meditation perhaps could follow this. What you're going to do is essentially look to begin your sessions with something which engages you first with the feeling of your body and the sensations present in the body, grounds you in that. I use Taoist standing meditation for this, but you could use something like holding a quadrupedal plank, so you're on all fours with your knees bent, hovering the knees just off the ground. And you're simply gathering your awareness and the warmth into the body. You're gathering inward, you're breathing, you're feeling the heat rise, and you're kind of in this still position, accumulating an awareness of what's happening inside. You're meditating on that. Now, once you've done that, this is the first part of your warm-up, you're now body aware. You're now grounded and embodied. The next thing you can do is apply that embodiment and awareness towards some kind of engaging task. Ideally, this involves balance, it involves the vestibular system and the inner ear, and it involves the eyes. And what you're going to be doing is reflexively interacting with something moving. So you could be like juggling, you could be bouncing a tennis ball against a wall, you could be juggling a soccer ball, you could be balancing on one leg, you could be doing some kind of little cartwheel. This is taking that energy and awareness that's in the body, and it's starting to distribute it and engage it with the world. But we're not just trying to do that from a state where we've been spinning in thoughts and whatnot. We're first in the body, and then we're going through the body. So now the warm-up is complete. What you'll do from this point is introduce your main practice and your main work. So if this was a gym session, it could be squats and pull-ups, let's say. And so you're going to be warm and ready and receptive for all of the stress that you're going to apply. You're breathing well, your attention is gathered, you're alert and awake, and you can really absorb and receive the stimulus you're putting your body through, rather than just apply that stress, but things are feeling janky, you're not feeling focused, you're feeling kind of absent, which increases the risk of injury and decreases the potency and therapeutic effects of your session. Now, if you weren't training in the gym, if you were doing a yoga class, the same principles would apply, where you could first generate a little bit of heat. You could be moving slowly with some gentle static postures. Then you could begin to explore and reach into the space around you and sense into that space. So we're going from gathering inside to interacting outside using different senses and systems. And then you could go through some kind of repetitive, more challenging flow or harder static postures. So that's the middle section of the yoga class, or the middle section of the training program in the gym. If there was a task, like a mental task or a learning task that you wanted to take on, then this would be a good time to do that, because you've exited any sense of being frozen or stuck or overwhelmed. You're in your body, you're coming through your body, and then if you want to play the guitar, play the piano, learn a new skill, do a handstand, paint, draw, you will have a deeper connection to what's going on in that process. Whatever it is that you need to draw upon in order to engage fully will be more accessible to you, because you're embodied and you're alert, you're attuned. So then you accumulate your practice. This is the main work part of your session, your training session, your yoga practice, your painting, your even writing. This is the main thing, the middle. And this is where you drop in and do the deep work and do the repetitive stuff. And then once you've finished, you come out of that with a down regulation or relaxation, in simple terms, meditation. What I would suggest is that you stretch, find some gentle stretches, like a nice spinal twist or glute stretch, something that's comfortable, something that intuitively feels like it wants to open. You can just hang out in a gentle stretch there and breathe. Now, this stretching isn't about getting more mobile, so it doesn't matter what your goals are flexibility-wise or how flexible you are. This is about moving your body gently and breathing into the sensation of the stretch so you can notice and release any residual tension, stress, or muscle tone that is happening. And this helps you drop into a properly grounded and easeful state after an activity which might have been quite stimulating. See, it's really important to go from this taking off the plane and flying the plane in the middle of the session to landing the plane, because if you don't make that a conscious part of your practice, then you'll just do activities and you'll stay up here, and you'll probably keep trying to operate up here until you eventually get tired and sort of exhausted. You crash. That crashing isn't resting, that crashing is exhaustion. So if you want anything to be therapeutic and feel really beneficial for your subconscious and your nervous system and those parts of you that help you want to come back and do it again innately, then you need to make sure that you're landing the plane and bring things down to earth and help your body relax, help your whole being relax. And breathing into a stretch, sensing the tension, relaxing into the tension, deepening the stretch a tiny bit, just gently, is so good to do that. Once you've done that, you'll notice we're coming back through the body again, that you can finish with a guided meditation or a lie down or something where you're just breathing, you're just paying attention to your breath and you're lengthening your exhalations relative to your inhalations. You're really just chilling out. You're melting and enjoying the sensations in your body, and you're enjoying the effort that you've just made to progress in some way, and you're integrating it. You're witnessing yourself, appreciating yourself. You're remaining in the afterglow of the practice you've just had, which closes the loop, brings you back to this beautiful, grounded baseline that you can then move onto your next daily task with, feeling good, feeling chilled out, clear, and calm. And that affirms that that whole stressful event that you had in the middle was really good for you. The way things begin and how they end is what becomes imprinted into our implicit memory, or our body's kind of functioning memory. What happened in the middle isn't as important. The perfect example of this, right, is pregnancy for women and having a child. So like, obviously it begins, hopefully most of the time, with some kind of love or some kind of lovemaking very early on, and then there's this whole process in the middle of pregnancy and all blah, blah, blah. And then there's childbirth, which is like just so insane. But then the endorphins and the good feelings and the baby being there and the oh my god often creates such a nice bookend to that whole process, which was at its peak, perhaps uncomfortable, painful, whatever, which means that the memory of it is nice. It's like, oh, let's have another kid. I mean, it's not for everyone, but just to illustrate the example, how something finishes is often what we take away from it. Again, look at the hero's journey, look at the story arc, look at the way people create feature films and books. There's often this resolution at the end. And the resolution is what takes those stress hormones that are built up during the tension part of the journey, and it transforms them into reward hormones. And those reward hormones help us to relax and feel content. And so the same themes that apply for training and for the nervous system, for the subconscious, in these areas apply to life as a whole. They apply to the story arc of our lives and the macro picture. Everything is seasonal, everything is oscillating, and everything has moments of ascension, moments of peak, moments of descent and release, and then moments of emptiness or trough. And the way these things undulate and the way that you harmonize with and understand that is what shapes the quality of your life. And when you have a sense of rhythm here, the same rhythm as the red light in the morning that helps the sun rise, and the sun's high in the sky and it's hot, but you're not getting burnt as much and you're actually feeling really good because you primed yourself with the red light early and then the red light late again, that same rhythm exists everywhere, and it's something I want you to look for. It's something I want you to engage with more consciously, and you'll find it reflects in fantastic health, both physically and emotionally and energetically. So I hope this has been helpful. Take off the plane, fly the plane, land the plane, and then appreciate the journey you've been on. Use that in as many ways as possible, in as many activities as possible. Be aware of what part you're in right now based on how you feel in your body. And embrace the contrasts, but make sure you're moving between them rather than just getting stuck in one stage all the time. Much love.